Today on GamePro, it's 16-bit madness with the hottest game carts for your system, featuring Super Castlevania 4, the awesome graphics of ActRaiser, Joe Montana 2, and WWF Super WrestleMania. So stay where you are. It's GamePro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to GamePro. I'm JD Roth. This is the place to be for all the video gamer information you are looking for. Now, today, the Game Lab Gargantuan have put together some mega material that'll have you wiping out the video game screen in no time. So chill, because there's a whole lot to come. First, there was Castlevania, then Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, and then Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse for the NES. Then they hit you with Castlevania 1 and 2 for the Game Boy. You remember that. And now the Drac is back, and the blood has never run so red as on this one. The greatest Castlevania of them all, Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. All right, check this out. Here's the story. In the small and peaceful country of Transylvania, legend has it that every 100 years, the forces of good become mysteriously weak. Now, when this happens, the power of Dracula revives, and with every time he returns, he's more powerful than before. Now, this keeps making it tougher and tougher on the Belmont family, who take on the chore of whipping the Drac Man back into his coffin. Well, listen up, because it's Easter night, and while the people of Transylvania are having like this big, huge party, the evil ones are holding a black mass, pouring blood on Dracula's bones. Ugh, the Drac is back. Yo, man, I'm starting to scare myself here. All right, let's get back to the story. All that stands between Dracula and a good swig of blood is Simon Belmont and his magical whip. And I don't know about you, but I've been really heavily into this game ever since it first appeared. And dudes, it has never been better than in the new SNES version. The graphics are unbelievable. I mean, you gotta check out the 3D rotating backgrounds. It is awesome. If I hadn't seen it for myself, I would not have believed that this is such a great home cart. Totally, totally awesome. These Konami dudes have taken 16-bit to the max with characters and backgrounds that look like they're really living, breathing Mondo monsters. Ooh, the sound, it's not just the game soundtrack. It is a full-on album. Each level has its own theme music, and it's good enough to have been cut by my man, MC Hammer. I'm saying plug this game into your stereos, dudes, because it will blow you out of the room. Now, it's a good thing that this card is fun, and you can just look at it and listen to it, because once you get hooked, you'll be playing all the time. In fact, you'll be lucky to get Dracula while you're still young enough to enjoy it. If you make it to the end of this one, we'll make you a member of the Pro Challenge Board Hall of Fame. For real. We've got a super fresh SNES cart to preview for you. It's called ActRaiser, and it's guaranteed to make you thank heavens above for the game that's so fine. It all begins peacefully enough. Now, you're an angel, blessed with the power to populate a whole world. Your world has 6 lands, each representing a level of the game. Pretty cool, huh? Well, it's your job to protect your followers and help them prosper. After your initial state of grace, the party ends quickly, man, because things start to change when you arrive on Earth. You see, once you land on ground, you're no longer an angel. Now, you're a tough and mighty warrior with a sword and magical powers. You know, now that I think about it, this game reminds me of a babe I used to date. Man, she started out as an angel, but as soon as she came down to Earth, she was a hack and slash warrior with a sword.
JD Roth, you stop that talk right now.
Just kidding, Mom. So, anyhow, you've come down to Earth, and now you leap into action in this hardcore, horizontally scrolling game where you hack and slash your way to the end of each stage. Now, once you reach the end of the first stage, you have to defeat a mega mean boss creature or die trying. Yikes. Get used to this, because you'll encounter an evil boss at the end of each stage of the game, each one worse than the one before him. A trick every boss can be defeated by is using a pattern. Now, it's up to you to figure out the best way to knock off each bad dude. Level 2 finds you once again ascending to your lofty position of angel, where you'll hover above your small village and lead your peasants through the job of building and prospering. Ah, very nice. You see, each level involves a building phase, followed by a population boom, and ends in out-and-out battles. Sounds familiar? Well, in order to help your loyal subjects succeed during the building stages, you must guide them to destroy the evil portals through which dangerous monsters can escape and cause serious damage. Tough job for anybody. In return for watching over these people, they will grant you all the more power, and you're gonna need it, because with each new level comes more and more screaming weirdos to be defeated. So good luck.
Freeze! We will return. Lemmings, Joe Montana 2, and Super Adventure Island. Next on GamePro.
Whoa, welcome back to GamePro. A lemming is defined as an adorable, yet incredibly stupid furry rodent lost in a maze of confusion. Lemmings are known to walk off cliffs, wander aimlessly into dangerous passageways, and drown by the thousands in small pools of water. So, what you say, does this have to do with a video game? A great deal, as you will now take your turn at saving these hapless creatures in the new Super Nintendo game entitled Lemmings. This puzzler cart has 30 different screens and 4 difficulty levels. In each level, your task is to figure out how to get as many lemmings as possible from point A to point B. Most levels scan several screens, and the terrain for each screen is different and fraught with the disaster for the rampaging rodents. Each level begins when a trapdoor opens and lemmings drop out to begin their march. This is where you come in. Since the lemmings are fond of blindly marching to their doom, you are granted some special powers to help you help lemmings. For example, you can turn a lemming into a blocker who will keep his buddies from walking into bubbling lava, or you can create a digging lemming who carves a tunnel for his friends. Not a bad guy. As you reach higher levels and alter the difficulty settings, the obstacles become more difficult and more complicated. While this game works nicely for one player, we recommend playing the 2-player version of the game, which has 20 levels. Here, each player tries to direct his or her own bunch of lemmings to the right level exit while trying to block the opponent from rescuing his rodents. Whoever saves the most lemmings wins. Oh yeah, there's one more thing we forgot to tell you. Sometimes the only way to save a few lemmings is to blow up a few lemmings. Now, while it's going to be painful to hear them scream, "Oh no!" it'll all be for the best in the end, I promise. In fact, I think you're going to enjoy this game so much, you may be ready to follow a lemming off the nearest cliff yourself. But don't. While Joe Montana may have sat out last season, the all-new Joe Montana 2 Sports Talk football game is right in the middle of video gridiron of excitement. This hot pigskin cart for the Genesis system has been upgraded big time, and I think it's safe to say video game football has never been more exciting. Check it out.
New Orleans lines up for the kickoff. San Francisco set to receive.
This new version of Joe Montana football looks and sounds completely different than the original. While the camera angle that followed the action in Joe Montana football was a bit limited, Joe Montana 2 presents a side view horizontally scrolling. And check it out. Once a play begins, the screen zooms in on the ball carrier and enlarges the player to over 200%. Look at that guy. These dudes look like they're coming out of the screen and right into your face.
Pitch out. Good blocking. Going deep. And he scores. The crowd goes wild.
All right, what a touchdown. Now, if you think the action is happening, chill, because the sound is not to be believed. With a system called Sports Talk, this game will have you believing that Charlie Jones has moved into your game cart and is calling the plays right from inside your home. Just listen to this.
Gets away, a beauty. And he's got it at the 6.
With a vocabulary of 250 words built into the system, the game will describe every play on the field situation in addition to telling you your field position, yards to go, and the score. This cart includes an arsenal of plays that provides an offense of 17 runs and 19 passes, plus 17 defensive plays. I know. You want more? You gotta see this. So, You get up to the offensive line and you don't like what you see. Hey, no problem. Have your quarterback call an audible on either side of the ball and change the play to something else. Not bad, huh? And because you can change the direction of any play in the playbook, you'll have a whopping selection of 72 formations on offense. Now, there's one hitch in the game that I gotta pass along, and believe it or not, it comes in the passing game. Your receivers will often race out of the quarterback's view, which means that sometimes the only thing that'll help complete a pass is a whole lot of luck. Oh well, nothing's perfect. For all you fans of the Adventure Island series on the Nintendo, you'll be happy to know that Master Higgins is back, and this time in 16-bit Super Nintendo Island color. Now, you will recall that the indomitable Higgins has saved the citizens of Adventure Island on more than one occasion when they faced destruction at the hands of the nefarious witch doctor. Yikes. While the Master's been kicking back, enjoying a few island coolers, you know, those drinks with umbrellas. Not to mention, he's with his honey, Genie Jungle, so he's busy. But there's trouble in paradise. For who should show up but none other than Dark Cloak. That's who. Suddenly, Genie Jungle's heart grows cold, as does the rest of her, because Dark Cloak has turned Genie into stone. Now, Higgins must seek out the Dark One and get his gal pal back to normal. Phew! First off, the 16-bit graphics and super sound put the old version to shame, and I mean in a big way. The island colors are gorgeous, and the horizontally scrolling arcade-style action give this island adventure a whole different look and feel from its predecessors. Now, Higgins' choice of travel is still by way of foot or skateboard, but in this adventure, the dinosaurs from Adventure Island 2 have become extinct. His weapon arsenal includes an axe and a boomerang, but this time around, he doesn't need to break any eggs to find them. They are right out in the open, ready to be taken. The game takes place over 5 stages, each with 4 areas and a big bad boss at the end of each one of them. The newer areas have Higgins working his way through a cavern, swimming underwater after he's swallowed by a whale, shivering on a frozen mountaintop, riding a mine car inside a mine, and even climbing a tree. Now, while I'll have to say that the graphics in this 16-bit island paradise are really something to see, the gameplay action is, well, just a little bit sluggish, since Higgins doesn't move quite as crisply as his smaller self in the 8-bit games. But if you're a fan of the original and its sequels, you're probably gonna find that Super Adventure Island is a real trip. I'm out of here.
The 16-bit madness continues with Smash TV, only on GamePro. The Blockbuster Video Top 10 NES video game rentals for this month are...
Welcome back to GamePro. Okay, the game you play for the ultimate prize has arrived. What is it? Smash TV for the Super Nintendo. And the ultimate prize? Your life. Now, if you've been hanging out in your favorite neighborhood arcade, you probably put a few coins in the arcade version of this popular video TV game show. You start with 5 lives and the regular rapid-fire pistols, but you can pick up some handy artillery on the way. There's grenade launchers, photon guns, speed enhancers, and the ever-popular mobile force field. Not to mention a few extra lives to be found if you're really on top of things. And I gotta tell you that you are really gonna need it all. You'll be going up against gangbangers like the Club Creeps, satellite orbs, cyborg tanks, and everybody's favorite explosive personality, Mr. Shrapnel. You must blast through 4 levels of smashing gameplay to make it out alive. And nobody gets out of Smash TV alive until they take on the ultimate challenge, the show host with the most. Now, if you win, you don't only come out with your life, you'll retire from the ultra-violent game show with all the toasters, cars, VCRs, not to mention all the cold, hard cash your fist can grab up. But hey, You gotta move quick, or the prizes might just slip right through your fingers. Now I have to tell you that the graphics in this show are not as intense as some you've seen on the SNES game carts, but the digitized voices are over the top and the action is right on target. So, contestants, come on down and take your shot at Smash TV. If you've ever played with those little plastic army guys, and if Desert Storm is still fresh in your mind, then I think you're going to get a big bang out of Desert Strike for the Genesis. Unlike most of the military strategy carts available for home gameplay, Desert Strike requires more action than strategy. With excellent chopper maneuverability, you can survey the terrain and decide whether to use your Hellfire missiles, Hydra missiles, or fire your chain guns. But remember, you play this game with limited ammo, so you have to keep your eye out for the ammo crates scattered throughout the game. And ammo isn't the only thing that's scarce, because helicopters run on fuel, and without the fuel you'll need to find along the way, you're gonna crash and burn before you complete the 4 missions. With a 360-degree scrolling screen, you can only see a little bit of the landscape at a time. Now, fortunately, the enemy can't see much of you until you're on top of them. And if your helicopter skills are up to the challenge, you can fly circles around them. The game begins with a search for a mission intelligence agent as you decimate the enemy's capabilities. In Mission 2, it's up to you to rescue potential prisoners and POWs as you destroy the Scud missiles. That is, if you can locate them. If you make it to Mission 3, you'll search for captured UN inspectors and then destroy some biological weapons plants. Now this is where it really gets tough. If you make it through Mission 3, the ICBMs will begin to appear on the mission map. But these ICBMs are buried deep in the sand, so locating these babies is no easy chore. Phew! This is one fast-moving cart, and if you're into serious helicopter fighter action in a location taken from recent pages of history, I'd have to say that Desert Strike is the right game for you. So check it out. Whoa! You've seen them on television, in arenas, and on the home and arcade game screen. Now, the stars of World Wrestling Federation are back in this all-new game cart for the SNES called WWF Super WrestleMania. They're all here. Rando, Macho Man Savage, Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake Roberts, The Undertaker, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and Sid Justice. But that's not all, because the great tag teams have also shown up for this SNES version of WrestleMania. Each wrestler looks like his real-life counterpart, thanks to some very cool digitized images and movements. The ring and audience scrolling is smooth, if not overly spectacular. Accompanying theme songs such as the Hulkster's I Am a Real American are hot, but the in-game grunt sounds, well, they're not. Here's how you play. You select your battle from a choice of regular one-on-one matches, a tag team face-off, or a full-blown 4-on-4 tag team main event called the Survivor Series. Now, since there's no championship system or tournament built into this game, it's pretty much one match and out every time you play. Now, the moves included are pretty strong. There's an awesome assortment of kicks, punches, grabs, holds, and other moves essential to any pro wrestling cart success. The good news is that the SNES version includes some cool new attack moves. The game provides moves that'll work while you're running, others that work while you're standing still, and a couple that'll actually work while your opponent is lying flat on his back. The bad news is that every wrestler has the very same moves, so you lose out on some of the specialties associated with each of the unique personalities, like Jake the Snake's devastating DDT. Now, WWF Super WrestleMania lets you take on the computer or go head-to-head against another player as you take on the identity of the WWF's greatest personalities. Oh, get him! Oh, body slam! So, that's all there is to it, Hulkamaniacs. The rumbling has begun on your SNES, and all the gang has been invited. So check it out.
Don't move. GamePro will be right back.
Welcome back to GamePro. Here's a new game for Nintendo that is politically correct whether it's facing up or upside down. It's Captain Planet from Mindscape, featuring the award-winning animated television team of Captain Planet and the Planeteers. They battle villains of the environment like Duke Nukem and Higgish Greedley on 10 different challenging levels. They save wild elephants from ivory hunters, rescue dolphins from drift nets, and thwart nuclear disaster. Nice guys, huh? Their weapons include the natural elements of fire, earth, air, water, and the added essential, heart. Captain Planet and the Planeteers is cool because it promotes environmental awareness, and you should too. We can make a difference by recycling paper goods, aluminum cans, and plastics, and buy recycled products. Do to waste what Captain Planet does to loot and plunder. Hey, the town of Redmont has fallen on evil times. It's up to Dogie and his pal Adol, the baddest sword fighters in the land of ease, to save the town from the most heinous of rulers, Dewey, Chester, Edgar, and Pierre, in this action-adventure game now available for the Super Nintendo entitled Wanderers from Ease. Now, here in the land of ease, the action comes fast and furious with a terrific blend of role-playing and action-adventure. As in most role-playing games, you'll have the chance to build up character traits, interrogate townsfolk, fight monsters for gold, and buy important items to help you along the way. And, like most action-adventure games, you'll fight a horde of murderous beasts and solve maze-like obstacles. The game unfolds over 6 levels of rich and unpredictable terrain. To make it through in one piece, you need to track down swords, armor, shields, and magic rings, along with a whole bunch of other items which are essential to your fight. You will want to check out the 4 different sword fighting techniques the game provides. It's swashbuckler heaven. Now, if you own a TurboGrafx CD machine, you may already be familiar with the Wanderers from Ease, since the game has been available for that system for quite a while. But if you haven't played the TurboGrafx CD version, try Wanderers on the SNES. This version provides hot graphics and a most enjoyable challenge for fans of role-playing and action-adventure games. Hey, check it out. We think you're gonna like it. That's all we have today. We have nothing left to put on the screen. Now, if you got something you want to say, hey, don't be shy. Until next week, we'll be chilling here in the Game Lab, getting it all ready for you. I am JD Roth. We are out of here. Peace. See ya.